same God that made our players is the same God that made your children. And the same God that made the professors at Marquette is the same God that made me. He doesn't love me anymore because I'm the head coach at Marquette than he loves your child who's a student at Marquette. The 5 things that Marquette stands its mission on, anybody know who those 5 things, what those 5 things are? Rattle them off if you know them.
Service, faith, leadership, and excellence.
Is that the order?
No.
Excellence, faith, leadership, service to who? Service to others. Service to others. I'll coach here as long as they'll have me coach here. Because the things that this institution represents are the things that I want to represent as a human being. Not as a coach, as a human being. The things I want to represent as a husband, the things that I want to represent as a father. And I don't know exactly what your story is. They've given me a forum to talk for 14 minutes. So in a minute and a half, I gave you a little bit of my story. But if we had enough time, everybody could get up here and talk and share your story. Oprah Winfrey says everybody has a story. Some of you guys probably don't watch Oprah. The thing when they put together those videos, all the clips you saw were when we were winning. They didn't put any clips together when we were getting our tails beat. So I tend to watch Oprah on TiVo at about 2 or 3 in the morning, just to get my mind to settle down enough in hopes that I can be ready to go to work the next day. I don't know what your story is as a parent, and I don't know what your story is as it relates to the children that are here, the students that are here. What I can tell you though is this: they spend an inordinate amount of money in public safety. If you haven't been to public safety, you ought to walk in and you ought to see the computers and the surveillance system that they have in place as it relates to our entire institutions. The city of Milwaukee's police department spends time at Marquette's public safety so that they can get the city of Milwaukee's surveillance system to the level of Marquette's system. You have no idea the inordinate amount of money that they spend for the protection of your children. You have no idea the inordinate amount of money that they spend for the best professors you can possibly find. There will never be a graduate assistant teach your child in class. I've never been at a private institution, and the places that I went to school, I would never have been admitted at Marquette. But the places that they would admit me, they'd hire anybody as cheap as they could to teach as many classes as they could. What your children are going to receive here is going to incorporate an experience that will be in their story the rest of their lives. And I know that we can talk about basketball, and those are all good kids, and we'll win as many games as we can win, and it's really fun at the Bradley Center. Everybody camps out, show up, everybody gets a yellow shirt, everybody says it's fun. I got all that. It is. It is. That's part of the experience, but it's only about 2% of the experience that your child's going to receive at Marquette. 18,392 students applied at Marquette this year. Those are Ivy League numbers. There's only 8,000 students at Marquette total. 18,392 students applied for an institution that costs $48,000 a year to go to school. That's a staggering, staggering number. And if you were to do research and study the numbers across the country, you would find very few schools that, relative to their enrollment, has that number of applicants. How many of you guys are freshmen here? So there's however many that is. Can't see the light shining right on. If I can tell them to turn on the regular lights, I tell them to turn on the regular lights. 18,392 students applied to be incoming students at Marquette. 1,945 enrolled. A lot of guys raise your hand if you're brand new. Where's the rest of them? Where's Junior? Okay. Junior tore his Achilles, so he can't move around. We have 6 new guys. So take our 6 out of the mix. 1,939 made it. Think about that. How proud you should be as a parent. 18,000 over applied. And 1,939 made it to whatever Molly said they're calling this weekend. Think about those numbers. Think about those numbers relative to the industry that you're in. Those are staggering numbers. I can tell you this, that the 1,939 that are enrolled have no more importance than the 1,939 that were in this room last year that are currently sophomores. Your children will be valued here. Your children will be taught here. Your children will be protected here. But more importantly than anything else, the things that Marquette has as a mission and the things that it stands by, those are the things that your children will most remember in their story when they become parents and you become grandparents. Your children are no more important than our children. As a staff, we're responsible for those children that were introduced. Students, if you get in trouble, you're about to get in trouble, you're somewhere where you're not supposed to be, you're hanging around people that you're not supposed to be hanging around, you know that it's fixing to get worse before it gets better, call me or text me. If I can't help you, I'll find somebody that'll help you. Parents, if you think that your kids are running around bad kids, if you think that they're depressed, if you think that they're drinking or doing drugs and you know they don't need to, and if you're smart enough to know that they're not going to listen to you and you want me to help them, send me an email or call me. The reason why, thank you. You can call, you can email, but see, here's the thing. The people that'll tell me that it was foolish to give just whoever all these people are, my number and my email, they don't get what Marquette's about. I tell our guys all the time, we're not playing for the jersey. I know the hype says we are. I know the media says we are. We're not playing for the jersey. We're playing for our hearts. And that's my commitment to you. Don't be foolish enough to send me something about those kids, because those kids are just as important as your kids. And the mission and the experience and the story at Marquette is way, years, months, decades past how many games we win. I'm smart enough to know how I'll be judged. But I tell you this, God's so big that however it plays out, I just want to make sure that as it relates to my story and the people in my life and the children in my life and the staff members and their families in my life, I want to be able to stand up and be accountable to God. That's it. That's it. And if I can help you, you have my genuine, sincere word. I'll help you. I guess I'm supposed to say, like, we are Marquette. Or like have Mary get the girls and go do something. Or have our players say a chant. That's the thing, though. That's why those people over there that'll tell me I'm foolish for giving you my numbers, that's why they have to be careful when they let me speak. Because they've been around me long enough to know, hey, let him talk, the dude's going to say what he believes. And that's what I believe. I appreciate the opportunity to see you, and I wish you guys nothing but the best.